It is here, the biggest snowstorm of the season, as we take a live look into Lancaster County. You can see the snow showing no signs of stopping. CBS 21 has you covered this morning with live team coverage from the Weather Center to the roadways. Good morning, everyone. I'm Sherry Christian here with Steve Knight. Al is in the field this morning, and Steve, boy, it's definitely showing up.
Yeah,
it's doing what you said it was going to do.
It's nasty outside right now. The snow really coming down in most locations. We've seen a little bit of a changeover to more of a wintry mix in southeastern portions of the viewing area. So snowfall totals there might get cut down just a little bit thanks to some of this mix. You can kind of see it here, this area right in through here, a little bit of a mix. So southern York, southern Lancaster counties may not see quite as much by the time all is said and done, but snowfall rates are impressive at this hour. And from a temperature standpoint, boy, this is the sweet spot right where you want to be for big time snow. You can see we've got 20s set up across the entire region, and the winds, they've been picking up a little bit. I'm anticipating the winds really starting to gust later on this afternoon, but you can see right now we have winds anywhere from about 5 to 15 miles per hour. That's helping to reduce visibility. So now until about 11 a.m. is when I think we see the steadiest snow. Still looking at snowfall rates 1 to 3 inches per hour. That snow tapering off after 11 a.m. and then that's when the winds really pick up. And then we're really concerned about the wind blowing and drifting snow, potential for black ice overnight tonight, and a very cold week ahead. And again, this winter storm warning does continue through this evening. So as we take you hour by hour, this is 7 a.m. You notice that dark blue shading, still getting into some heavier bands of snow, but by lunchtime, things start to pull away a little bit. It gets windy as we head toward the evening hours tonight, and then tomorrow is just a gusty, windy day, blowing, drifting snow all day long. Many areas have already seen 6 to 7 inches of snowfall, especially through Adams and Franklin counties. You notice those blizzard warnings that are posted. Remember, that's all about the winds. Blizzard warnings actually up off to our east, including Chester County and also into Berks County. So here's what we're looking at. Still confident. We're looking at a foot of snow for most of us. Isolated spots will see even more than that. As I mentioned, those snowfall totals could be cut down just a little bit in southern portions of Lancaster and York counties, where we're seeing that sleet line or seeing some of that sleet that continues to mix on in. But there you go. We are in the bullseye for some big time snow, expected to continue at a steady clip until 11 a.m. Brandy?
Well, like Steve said, those roads certainly going to be slick. They are a mess out there this morning, so avoid it if you can, but if you can't, this is what you have to deal with. So 81 looks pretty good. If we take a live look, we did have reports of a crash that was coming out at exit 10. It does not seem to be causing any major delays because fortunately a whole lot of people are not out there on the roadways. So 81 looks pretty good along this stretch at Front Street. All of these roadways are going to be snow covered. 581, 15. Now PennDOT has reduced those speed limits down to 45 miles per hour. Same thing goes for the Turnpike this morning. So again, this is what it looks like at the South Bridge. All of those roads going to be covered, 83 all the way down across that Maryland line. That's a check of the roads with your Members First Traffic Alert.
We know pretty much all of our schools are scrolling at the bottom of your screen. You can get them there or by heading to our website, cbs21.com. And of course, by listening to any of our multiple radio partners, they're also listed on your screen.
At this point, Steve, isn't it easier to show who's open?
Yeah.
I mean, everything is closed, as it should be.
Well, yeah, obviously travel just way too dangerous here this morning. Of course, you may have noticed Al Ganoza not inside with us this morning. That's because we sent him out in the snow.
He is live in Harrisburg this morning to give us a first-hand look at the conditions there. Oh, you're getting blown on, Al.
Yeah, I just got this word in that Channel 21 News is closed for the day and a 2-hour delay tomorrow. So I'm going home. You guys take care of it. We're out here on North 6th Street, not far from where you guys are in a cozy setting. I've seen about 2 trucks go by here, pickup trucks in like the last hour. North 6th Street, definitely passable. And it looks like it might have been plowed at one time. Still, you can make it. I'll tell you, the biggest part for me coming in on 81 was not the road surface and not the visibility, but actually being able to see where the roadway was because everything was just white. So visibility figures to be an issue, and especially with the snow blowing. But North Harrisburg, say we got about 3 inches here. Roads still passable, but certainly not ideal. Guys, back into you in the relative warmth and coziness.
Yeah,
see you soon.
He's going to be digging on us all morning because of that.
Oh, you betcha.
But we appreciate you going outside in the elements to show us because, all morning long we're telling people to stay home unless you absolutely have to be out on the roads.
Yeah, and you can see that it's absolutely just snowing sideways out there for now. So, yeah.
All right, Al, you want us to be quiet so you can get in the warm truck, right? You're going to stay safe. And if you are traveling today, if you have to, keep in mind speed restrictions are in place on major highways across the state. Speed limits are now 45 miles per hour. Brandy reminded us of that as well. And there is a ban on commercial vehicles, RVs, and tandem and empty tractor trailers, as well as buses and motorcycles on most of the interstates east of Bedford.
CBS 21's Michael Gorsinger continues our team coverage right now live in York County. Mike, what are you seeing there?
Well, I'll tell you what, you don't need any speed restrictions on these highways out here because you can't get much above 35 or 40 miles an hour. In fact, taking a walk here, we're right along Interstate 83 here in York County, right off the Shrinestown exit. I just drove up from Route 30. It is pretty snow covered, very slippery, and conditions are basically whiteout. I mean, for the most part, visibility is not much more than about 20 to 30 feet in front of you. So there's a lot of work being done on those highways, but certainly travel is treacherous, especially as that wind blows the snow into you. Now, the only people really out and about that I've seen so far are guys like this working to keep some of those areas clear. We're at a Rudders right off of 83, and you can see he has been hard at work all night long trying to push away some of the snow, but at times it seems like 1 to 3 inches an hour, it's going to be a losing battle. So obviously stay inside if you can. Don't go out on the roadways. It is tough sledding out there for all you people down here in York County.
All right, thanks a lot there, Michael. You know, we talked about this yesterday, kind of getting into this peak time period where the snowfall rates were going to be really high. Snow coming down at a high rate right now. Plow trucks having a hard time keeping up.
But they are hard at work trying to get those roads clear. Now, here's a live look at PennDOT's plow tracker on the 511 PA website.
You know, you really should avoid the roads if at all possible. But if you do need to drive somewhere today, be sure you wear your seatbelt. Make sure your tires properly inflated. Keep your gas tank at least half full. Hopefully you already took care of that. Don't use the cruise control, and if possible, avoid using your parking brake.
Well, let's now check in with CBS 21's Courtney Highfield. She's live in the CBS 21 Storm Tracker in Lancaster County this morning with an update on the snowstorm there. Courtney, good morning.
Hi, good morning, guys. So yes, we are in the storm tracker. We are keeping track of the roads out here in Lancaster County. I won't waste time. I'm going to turn the GoPro around to give you guys a look at the roads here. The sleet is really coming down here. We have a mix of sleet and snow, but I can really hear that sleet hitting the car. The road's not great this morning, guys. We are a little farther up Route 30, which is one of the main roads here in Lancaster County. You can tell when you get a little ways out of town like we are now, these roads are really snow covered. We're seeing a few plows go by, but they're having a hard time keeping up. Now, when you get towards the outlets, the roads are a little better, but I would still recommend staying inside and not getting out on these. So, of course, we'll be back in a few minutes with another look, but again, stay inside.
Thank you. Courtney and Bill, stay safe out there. Our CBS 21 weather team will continue tracking the snowstorm throughout the day, and you can stay up to date by downloading our free CBS 21 weather app.
Tuesday is going to be a good day to stay home.
You heard that right. The governor himself saying today should be a snow day for everyone. State and local officials are asking you to stay home if you don't have to be on the roads. But if you do need to go out, they want to make sure you remain safe while they try to do their job, like making sure you have emergency supplies in your car ready to go.
If you must travel, take along an emergency supply kit, which includes a flashlight, batteries, and blankets in the event you get stranded on the roadway.
Many towns in our region have declared snow emergencies, meaning drivers need to move their cars off of the streets. And we have more about the snow emergencies on CBS21.com. Be sure to stay with CBS 21 throughout the day today as we continue to give you up-to-the-minute updates of the snowstorm, the latest on air and always online. And we're not done yet. Let's see, it is 4:39. That's right, we're on early this morning because of the storm. We check back in with Steve for an update on this March snowstorm that is affecting millions of people this morning, plus some winter weather safety reminders. We have more of those as well. Don't go away.
Well, we want to take you right outside, give you a look at what's going on in York County as the snow removal process underway at this hour. We are seeing a little bit of sleet mixing in southern York and southern Lancaster counties. Everybody else just seeing snow coming down at a very good clip at this hour. We're really kind of getting into the peak of the storm. In fact, you can see some of the darker shading indicating a heavier band of snow that's just now moving into southern portions of York County. You see some of that dark shading. We're already getting reports 6-7 inches of snow coming in out of Adams County. So a good clip right now. From a temperature standpoint, take a look. We're in the 20s. A lot of snow coming down. A perfect temperature, really, for snow making. So steady snow continues. I think the worst of it between now and about 11 a.m. and then that snow will start to taper off around lunchtime and into the early afternoon hours. Then the next big concern is the winds, blowing, drifting snow, black ice. I have to tell you, the commute tomorrow isn't going to be a picnic either. As we take you hour by hour into the future, still those heavy bands of snow eventually breaking apart later on this afternoon. As those winds pick up, though, be prepared to deal with that blowing, drifting snow. I still think we're in good shape for a foot of snow for most of the viewing area with some locally heavier amounts. Brandy?
Now, certainly those roadways, like Steve said, are a mess. You want to avoid it if you can this morning. If you can't, though, we certainly have you covered. So we don't have any major incidents that we're dealing with out there this morning. Things look pretty good along the turnpike. All of our major roadways still in the green. Again, if you have to travel now, all of those speed limits have been reduced to 45 miles per hour. If we take a live look, this is what it's like right now along the South Bridge. 83 looks pretty good all the way down across that Maryland line. No problems to deal with this morning right now along that stretch at 30. And then again, through Shrewsbury, going to be problem-free right now. This is what it's like if you have to travel along 30 at Harrisburg Pike, and 222 also pretty snow-covered. That's a check of the roads with your Members First Traffic Alert.
Thank you, Brandy. Now, if you do need to drive this morning, and you should listen to Brandy and don't, but if you do need to, keep these winter weather laws in mind. If there is snow on your car, don't forget to clean it off, and clean it off completely, folks, because that is the law here in Pennsylvania. It is also illegal to start your car and leave it unattended. Not to mention, it's an invitation from thieves or for thieves. And keep in mind, when your wipers are on, it's a law you must have your headlights on as well. And we have a few reminders to keep you safe when you go out to shovel. To stay warm, dress in layers, wear loose-fitting clothes, right? Don't push, don't lift, which puts more stress on the body. It's important to stay hydrated and make sure you take breaks. Local fire officials are asking for your help and cooperation during the snowstorm too. Make sure you know where your fire hydrants are now in your neighborhood and help clear them if you're able, because fires are happening also in the snowstorm. It's also important to keep your driveways clear. This helps fire crews respond quickly if there's an emergency. Make sure to clear any vents in your home and clear a path to your utilities. It's important to remember your furry friends as well during snowstorms like this. Your pets can get frostbite and hypothermia too, so be sure to bundle them up if they need to go outside. If you do have to take them out, keep it short. And antifreeze is a deadly poison, but animals are attracted to the sweet taste it has, so wipe off any antifreeze that may have spilled onto your clothes or surfaces. It is 4:43, and we're going to take you back outside now for a live look. This is a live look at the radar. Steve is tracking the biggest snowstorm of the season. He's back in a minute with an update on this March Madness.
And now, CBS 21 News First Warning Weather with meteorologist Steve Knight.
Well, we're going to keep giving you these live looks outside. Yeah, remember how warm it was in February? A lot of trees budding. This is a look in Harrisburg where the snow coming down at a really good clip at this hour. Yeah, it's going to be a snowy one for us throughout the day today. I also want to show you weather from your window. This was actually posted by one of my colleagues at CBS 3 in Philadelphia, and they're getting snow in Philly. Take a look at historic Independence Hall. They actually have blizzard warnings up in Philadelphia. Our friends at Renewal by Anderson bringing you weather from your window when it's safe for you. We'd love to see what it looks like in your backyard. So send us in those weather photos this morning and we'll share as many of those as we can. So let's show you what we've got here on First Warning Doppler radar. We've seen a little bit of, notice this pink shading? We're actually seeing, radar's having a tough time picking up on this, but we're actually seeing some of this sleet mix in southern portions of York and Lancaster counties. If you saw our Michael Gorsinger, there was a little bit of sleet going on there in York County. So that may cut down on snowfall totals a little bit for southern portions of the viewing area, but still seeing some of these heavier bands as well. You can see this dark shading indicating a heavier band of snow. Temperatures right where they need to be for big time snow. We're sitting in the mid to upper 20s. It is a little bit warmer aloft though, and that's why we're seeing some of that sleet mix in. But this is really the perfect setup, folks. Had the low moving in from the west, transferring its energy to this coastal low, and now this races up the coast, and it all adds up to major snow for us. So heaviest snow continues between now and about 11 a.m. By later on this afternoon, you notice that dark blue shading starting to push off to the north. We get into some winds and we deal with blowing and drifting snow during the second half of the day, evening hours tonight and into tomorrow. I think we could still be seeing some wind gusts tomorrow in that 35-mile-per-hour range. So here's your timeline moving forward. Steady snow now 11 a.m. After 11, we start to see things taper off a bit. It's windy, and then we deal with the winds, the blowing, and the drifting snow will be an issue for us. Travel today unsafe all day long, and even I think into a good portion of the day tomorrow thanks to those strong gusty winds. The snow will be over with by tomorrow, but a lot of blowing and drifting snow. Black ice a big concern. You can see our current winds aren't too bad, but we are anticipating these winds to pick up. Look at Philadelphia. I mentioned that blizzard warning in Philadelphia. They're sitting at 21 right now in terms of the overall wind speeds. That'll be the next thing we're concerned about after the snow winds down, is all this blowing and drifting snow and the potential for causing some whiteout conditions and perhaps even some black ice. So in terms of your snowfall totals, there you go. Still on track for a foot or more for most of our viewing area. A little bit less, I think, perhaps southern York, southern Lancaster counties, thanks to some of that sleet mixing in, and then over toward the State College area, not picking up quite as much in terms of overall snowfall. So the winds kick in big time tomorrow. You notice how cold we stay, and believe it or not, I think we're going to see a sloppy mix, starting out as a little bit of wet snow mixing with some rain as we make our way towards Sunday. So overall, very busy week ahead weather-wise. Brandy?
Well, it's certainly going to be a challenging ride for anyone who has to hit the highway. We certainly encourage you to stay home if you can, but if you can't, we have you covered. Now, the good news is we are not dealing with any major incidents out there, at least not yet this morning. But for now, all of our major roadways still in the green if you have to travel. Certainly going to be snow covered, though. This is what it's like if we take a live look. So 83, again, going to be totally snow covered from the Maryland line all the way up. Anybody traveling through Lancaster, this is what it's like along this stretch of 30 at 222. Now, we had an earlier crash along 81 at exit 10. That one has since cleared. This is what it's like 81 at Front Street. So again, those roads look pretty consistent. They're snow covered all over our area this morning right now. PennDOT has reduced those speed limits down to 45 miles per hour along all of those interstates. Same thing along the turnpike this morning. So that is a check of the roads with your Members First traffic alert. Well, the weather is crazy right now, but the grocery stores were even crazier yesterday. We had our cameras in a local supermarket where we asked people what they were hoping to stockpile. Most people, of course, wanted milk and bread, but a lot of people were scrambling for eggs, and people were also grabbing booze to help pass the time while they were snowed in.
If you're of age, of legal age, heck yeah. My husband was one of the folks who had to venture into the grocery store yesterday.
It was ugly.
Oh, my word.
I stopped by mine too. It wasn't good. All right, well, you can send us your pictures and videos of the snow using our app Burst. Just go to burst.com/CBS21 or click on See It, Send It in the phone app.
It is 4:49. We have other news this morning as well. The Department of Justice misses its deadline to provide wiretapping evidence, the latest and what they plan to do next in our 100 Days, 100 Voices coverage.
You're watching CBS 21 News this morning.